What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming back through. And today, I'm on the go a little bit. I'm outside of my favorite Friday guilty pleasure, Lola's. I usually come here to grab myself a cappuccino, a little cinnamon on top if you know what you're doing, nutmeg if they have it. And I wanted to do a review on the go. And so I decided to come here and do it because they've got some of the best lighting and the atmosphere is great. But during lunch, it gets a little bit chatty, a little bit of noise pollution. So I had to come outside and finish recording. What's up, Coach? How you doing? How you been?
Good, man.
Good to see you.
Hey, great season last year, man.
Thank you.
Wasn't that awesome?
Thank you. It was magical. That was once in a lifetime. That was once in a lifetime. Have a good one. Today we're going to be reviewing a pair of shoes that are in line from a brand that I've already recorded some video for. Already did a review on. So let's just get into it. Let's not prolong it. Let's get into the Flowers for Society Seed.one Black Mud. So the Black Mud sits on the same platform as the previously mentioned White Lily. Now, I'm actually wearing the White Lilies right now, but this one bears a slightly different look. So the original Seed.one had different paneling, like you see here, some underlying 3M elements underneath that mesh overlay. The White Lily has similar mesh overlays, but the design is slightly different in the paneling. So it's pretty interesting that they're riding off of the same platform, same midsole, but they're doing a different look, or actually their original look from the Seed.one. This Black Mud is a great mix of suedes, meshes, and 3Ms, a few fused overlays on top of some of the eye stays, standard oval lacing, and again, that split tongue, similar to the Gel Light 3, as we had mentioned before. Super padded collar. It's a standard recycled insole, very similar to what you would find in like an NMD or some of the Nike products. You can see some of the speckling there, so you can see that it's a little bit more like a regrind, recycled insole. The FFS logo, pretty dope logo. I do like their branding. And then we get into their proprietary midsole. The midsole with those cavities that collapse. Big chunk of midsole. Now, again, as I had mentioned previously, it doesn't squish as much as you might think it would, and the look. It's big, it's puffy, it's thick. But those cavities do collapse quite well, and you get some comfort from it. It's not a performance shoe at all. It's definitely in the mode of style. It's not to be worn running or that kind of thing. It's more just a stylish shoe with run inspirations. Outsole, as we've seen before, track inspired. Got the more knobby textured pattern right where your big toe is, and then the smoother pattern, and then it mixes. So you're actually getting that patterning on grip where your foot hits to where your foot finishes. That is actually ergonomically correct. And so they're putting the grip in the areas where your foot's going to put pressure the most, and then the smoother pattern so you get that roll. Interestingly, again, on their proprietary midsole and outsole tooling, they've got that cavity in the middle. That transition isn't the smoothest. I like a little bit of that midfoot transition, so that's a little awkward when you're breaking them in. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little clunky when you're trying to walk. But yeah, overall, this is a dope shoe. Now, I will say I'm a fan of the shoe. I'm not a fan of the colorway. This is absolutely when a colorway can make or break a shoe. The colorway here is supposed to be a little more dressed, supposed to be a little more subdued. I like either white or a little color. Maybe I can add some of that color through the accent laces, perhaps. Um, yeah, it's kind of bootish. Maybe I'll change my tune when we get into winter time and I'm not wanting to slosh around in any of my light color shoes. So maybe that'll work. Flowers for Society has set themselves up to actually have a different concept or connection to their audience. They are doing some shoes that are available for day of release, but mostly their shoes are somewhat crowdsourced in their funding, so that you could, like a pair of shoes, they've got some prototypes, some mock-ups. They got some early models that you see people wearing for the advertising and marketing. You decide that that's what you want to do is purchase, and then it could be 6 weeks to a few months until you actually get your shoes. So it's a new concept in footwear, um, in terms of deliverables, in terms of, I've had some shoes where you order them before, but not as the main business model for the brand. Well, that's what Flowers for Society is doing overall. That's their look. They want to connect directly to their audience. They don't want any middleman go between. They control their inventory, and then they communicate via Instagram, via some of their social media, and then also through their Discord server. They have a super robust Discord server, and that's usually where I connect with them. I've got one more pair coming. I'm not sure how sustainable the model is for me, but I'm going to participate through one more pair. I also love their gardens approach. So each shoe that is released comes from a particular garden. For instance, the White Lily comes from the Garden of Purity. The Black Mud, I believe, comes from the Garden of Innocence. And so you're collecting these shoes along the way that come from each different garden. There are people who trade for one particular garden. There are some who are trying to collect from all the different gardens. And that coincides with their Discord server, with their website. So it's a pretty integrated brand story. Maybe a little bit complicated. Definitely high priced of the fashion realm for the shoes. But a good way, I think, to get closer to the customer and justify value versus price. As always, I appreciate you coming through. I'm going to try and do a few more style and fashion oriented shoes, dig back into my archives, bring out some of the other things, because the high end running shoes are not the only thing that I wear. It's fun for me, but it's just one segment of this big industry of footwear. So I would love to start to do some more of this category. So I appreciate y'all coming through. Stick with me. There'll be more. All right. Peace.